Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 100 of the Showbound podcast. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here with San Jose Barracuda, Ethan Cardwell. Can I say that yet, Cards, or what's the deal?
I don't really know, honestly, man. But
You're on the roster on the website.
okay. No, but yeah, hopefully soon go and sort all that out. But actually, speaking of that, leaving not tomorrow, but pretty much tomorrow. I got to be fully packed. I leave at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. So
Yeah, and it's Sunday night as we record, just to reference for the listeners. That's something through 100 episodes we haven't learned yet,
yeah,
referencing when we're recording.
hard time referencing, and people are like, "What are these guys talking about?" But
Yeah.
yeah, no, man, just trying to pack as diligent as I can because it's hard, man. When you're going away and you got to pack out your whole life, and you can only fit it in a few bags. So got to pick and choose what I want to bring.
What are your essentials for living out there?
I don't know. Like I packed a lot, obviously more or less like winter clothes. Like I don't have my parka and my mitts and
Oh,
all that.
yeah. You might never see him again.
Yeah, hopefully not. But no, it's just got my basic just like summer attire and stuff like that, and then I got a bunch of like long pants and hoodies and stuff like that, and a few coats. But it's a disaster. I'm lucky though. Like I can't imagine these guys who bring their Xboxes and all these controllers and stuff. Like I would have absolutely no room for that, and of course got to bring the golf clubs as well.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be ripping it out there all year round. How
Oh, I
about
know.
I know there's all these guys on the Barracuda and the younger guys coming up in the Sharks. They're big style guys. Like we had Thomas Bordeleau on here. He's got an unbelievable like fashion sense. Are you gonna like up the fashion game hanging with these guys?
I don't know, man. I got a couple nice suits a couple months ago now, so got those custom made. So I'm looking forward to breaking them out this year, and yeah, I got a few nice new things. So we'll put them in the mix this year, and then I'll let you kind of see from pictures and stuff, and then you can tell me.
All right, beauty. Well, I guess I mean there's a ton to talk about. I guess we'll start. I mean, we should drop our guest right off the hop. You've already seen it from the title, but we got Brandon Montour. So we got a big one for our 100th episode. We were gonna do it right. Montour, obviously one of the best defensemen in the NHL right now. Coming off a Stanley Cup final with Florida, and we're gonna get into the whole playoff run and some stories with him. And we had a little surprise, yeah, we had a good surprise guest drop in as well. I don't want to name drop here, but if you listen to the interview, you'll be surprised by a friend of the show who caught up in the interview. So a great one coming later. And um, I want to talk, Cardsy, about some 100th episode questions for you and stuff, but we'll get into that in a bit. I wanted to just catch up over your dev camp in San Jose and just hear quickly about that, like how that went. And one thing in particular, the story that the Sharks did on you, where they took you on that photo shoot downtown. I want to hear all
Mhm.
about that stuff. So let's get into that.
Yeah, no, man, it was good. Obviously, it was like my third dev camp this time around, so you're not so nervous going in, and you kind of know what to expect. Like I think in my first one, definitely, and then kind of my second one as well. You're still a little bit nervous, and but no, I felt very comfortable this time. Just like really excited to be there, enjoy the moment. We did a lot of like team bonding stuff, so we got to go to Alcatraz, which was sick. I went there when I was younger, but to go back, obviously, really fun every time. And then we went bowling as a team. My team won, so that was another plus. Um, and then beyond that, we also just had a couple skates, and then we had a scrimmage at the end of it. And then yeah, just a good time with the guys always. And then yeah, after bowling, it was the that photo shoot thing, and they were like, "Do you want to go take a couple photos?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure." So then they're like, okay, like just wear like whatever you would wear, like that best defines you as a person, like shows your kind of style and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like I, I packed 4 outfits. I'm here for 5 days at dev camp. Like I don't have what I would normally be wearing around. So I just tried to throw a random
You had a good
outfit on.
outfit going. I don't remember
Yeah,
what it
no,
was,
I
but I liked it.
made it work. I mean, try to do my best, but no, it's slim pickings. And they're like, oh yeah, like are these your style of shoes and stuff? I'm like, well, yeah, like, but my nice ones are at home. Don't have them either. Got nothing. But no, that was fun. Just kind of touring around San Jose, taking some photos in various spots throughout the city, and buzzing around on the birds, always fun as well. The scooters down there are my favorites, so I can't wait to get on those in a few days and
Yeah.
get back to eating Chipotle and all that good stuff. So
And then I saw like Liz Child with the Barracuda did a good one on you the other day. Like you're all over it here. And I read that one. I thought it was a great, like you're getting these get to know Ethan Cardwell ones. And yeah, I thought it was cool, man. And I'm learning some stuff about you. But you're just like left, right, and center in the press.
I don't know what's going on. Um,
Yeah, man. What else we got? So I heard this funny development camp story when I wanted to bring this up. This was like, I guess when you were at dev camp, one of my coaches with the St. Catharines Falcons, who used to be like, he played minor pro, like he's got his jersey in the rafters in one of these like small like former ECHL teams that don't exist anymore. And he was telling me this story about, it was a first drill. He was like 17 at this dev camp, and first drill, the coach like flipped the net around so it was like facing the back boards.
yeah.
And but still in the crease where it is. And I think he maybe pushed it towards the boards like 2 feet. So there's only enough room to skate, like, you know, your shoulders basically on the boards, and your right, like your left shoulder would be on the boards, and your right shoulder is like touching the net if you're skating behind the net. Like it's tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would have a line on each blue line, and they would have to just skate as fast as they could behind the net and just collide. And
What?
and then like whoever's standing goes in line again, and like it's last man standing type of thing, like almost like elimination shootout, but it's you just run each other at full speed. This was like in
No.
the 80s.
No.
And he
That's
said
not.
he said these guys weren't even like letting up. It was, you just go, like they wanted to kill each other. And then the
Well,
coach,
I mean,
he said the coach was holding the net in place, and then one of the guys' sticks came up in the hit and hammered the coach. And he said that
dude,
was the end of the drill.
dude, that would be insane. That would be a crazy drill. And but like guys aren't gonna lay off though. If somebody's telling them like, "Hey, you got a job on the line. This is what you got to do
Yeah,
to go
no,
get
he
it."
said they were
Yeah.
just going, like they
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't
Wait,
want to
so
soften at all. But
was this an NHL development camp?
it was like the IHL, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Um,
either way. That's that's insane.
yeah, it was crazy. So, what else we got? I guess we'll wrap up for the listeners some golf talk for me. We'll give another update. Um, I'm getting a couple DMs about my golf game from
Yeah.
some Showbound listeners, and it's great. I love it. So yeah, I got all new clubs, as we know. I got a new driver. I got the TaylorMade SimMax 2. Haven't
Big up.
figured out how to hit it yet. But my game, so it went from I was shooting 100, then I was in like the mid 90s. I'm in the mid 90s with some 100 rounds, but they've
Yeah.
become honest 100 rounds.
See,
Whereas
that's
before
the
they were
key.
like kind of like I wasn't counting retees, or like I'm fluffing up my ball. At this point, I was like, who am I doing it for? Like I'm like I gotta figure out where
Yeah.
I'm actually at.
Like
So I've played a couple honest rounds in a row. I hit an honest 95, and I've hit a couple like 104s, 107s, like, but they're dead honest, I guess.
dude, I'm impressed. That's what I always tell people. It's like, hey, you can go and like fluff your lie and not like take a couple mulligans and take gimmies, like big ones, and then come in and say you shot 90. But like, who really cares if you shot 104 or 90? Like, who are you trying to prove? We're not going to the PGA Tour. Just tell us what you shot. So then when you actually do improve, people believe you. And it's not like, hey, this guy told me he was shooting like 90 3 years ago, and now he's shooting 95 when I play with him. Like, what?
Yeah. But I'm throwing great nines together. I just can't put 18. Like even I played yesterday, and I was
Where?
bogey golf on the front nine. Did you say where?
Yeah.
It was at Beechwood in Niagara Falls. The week before I played at Bondhead.
Oh, yeah. Bondhead's nice.
It
North
was
or south?
it was so hard to putt there though. The greens are so fast and hilly, man. It was the north, whatever the one has more hills.
Yeah.
I think it was the north. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I was bogey golf on nine, and I'm like, I don't know. I had like a triple and a double on 10 and 11, and then I ended up shooting 995. But I was like in good shape heading in. Um, anyway, so that's the update on the golf game. We all know your golf game's sick. Oh, can we can shout out your brother though? You want to shout out your brother here?
Oh yeah, big shout out from my brother. He won the Ontario U19 championships for the match play. So he's an Ontario champ now. So super pumped for him. And then he actually just left for school as well. So yeah,
Damn.
Robert Morris University for his freshman year here, and they start tournaments in like I think a week and a half or 2 weeks. So it's like pretty quick. They get in there as soon as school starts and like NCAA opens up. It's just like bang, 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 and they're right back into it. So no, big shout out to him. Huge accomplishment. And that was his last junior tournament ever too. So to
Mm.
finish with a win was kind of sick.
We got to get him some sponsors now that they're allowed to be paid and stuff in the NCAA. We'll get him some golf sponsors.
Yeah, get him some sick deals. Like
Yeah.
actually speaking of that, like did you see the Johnny Manziel documentary?
Yeah, man. I loved it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then how about you see the Hall of Shame one? And then actually the Florida Gators one comes out to tomorrow or
I haven't
next.
seen the Hall of Shame one. I'm gonna watch all of these ones. I'm so into these right now. Like I've been watching exclusively these sport documentaries. The Manziel one was cool. Like I wasn't as tapped in with the story. Obviously, I knew like he was just this big hyped quarterback, and then he was a flop. And I knew he liked to party and stuff. That's all I really knew though. I didn't
You
follow
didn't
him as
really
closely
like
at
the
the time.
magnitude. Yeah, it was pretty wild ride, really.
I mean, I knew like how big he was if it was getting to me back at that point. Like I care about football a little now. I didn't care at all now, and I still knew who he was and where he played and stuff. So I knew like he must have been huge. But yeah, it was really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they talked about what he's up to now at the end, but I don't think he's up to anything. I guess they kind of said, right?
Yeah, I think he's just kind of chilling. It said like maybe getting in a good place, but
Yeah. I'm
now
just so
like
curious, like what he wants to do. I just want to know, like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life now?
some of the plays that he used to make in college were out of hand.
Yeah,
Like
I just can't believe he didn't do like at that level of not studying video or anything. Like as
I
a
know.
quarterback, you need to know so much information. Like, did you watch the quarterback series on Netflix?
Yeah, yeah. So I saw that one, and Kirk Cousins got
Yeah,
stuff strapped to his head. It's dude, those guys in the quarterbacks thing are like they are like they study way more than somebody probably studying for I don't know what school. You
I
tell me.
finished my MBA. I didn't study that hard for my MBA. These guys are
That's what I
in
was
there
gonna say.
drawing plays repeatedly weekly. Like they're working harder than anybody. Which is why Manziel, I'm like, how did he get that good without doing that? And maybe that's just, I mean, he was just obviously naturally so good. And imagine just if he worked hard, how good he'd be. But
Crazy.
obviously he said in the thing he didn't want it. He just didn't want to play. But it was cool. The quarterback series, that's the coolest thing. And what do you think if they do an NHL one? Because at some point they're going to do an NHL one. How would they make that work? Like, how would it look? I guess
I don't know, man. I feel like it'll take a while to get into the NHL. Before, like I feel like they'd go basketball or something first. I don't know. I
they're
feel
definitely in doing something on basketball. Yeah, that'll come up. They'll follow around like LeBron, and then some of these young
like
guys coming up.
Netflix has been doing a really good job with all that stuff, like Full Swing, the
They're
golf,
crushing it. I've been watching.
golf,
I watched that one. I watched the tennis one. I
F1.
watched the F1 one. Like I'm
Yeah,
watching all of
pretty,
them.
pretty cool.
Um. Anyway, so okay, a couple of things before we get into the interview. Firstly, let's tell the listeners, I guess, what you can expect out of us episode wise going forward, just so everyone knows what's up. I think and we're still kind of working it out, but I think we're gonna shift to like more of a monthly episode or almost like a release when we can throughout the season. Is that right?
Yeah, I think kind of look for good moments to get our episodes out and stuff like that. And kind of find. I know Rask is going to be real busy this year as well, not just me. And moving to a different place, getting kind of my feet wet there and stuff like that. Going to put a lot of focus into the season. So we're definitely not going to stop or
Yeah,
shut
we're
it down.
not done. Let's
So
make
don't
that
worry about
clear.
that. And then I think our biggest thing is we know a lot of different podcasts, and we know a lot of our listeners support other podcasts as well, and they come out with a lot of stuff in season, and then we kind of we had been, but we're going to slow that down a little bit, and then we're going to really hammer it in the summer is our main goal. I think that's what we kind of discussed, Rask, like keep it going, the episode release when we can, and then really hammer it in the summer with some really high quality content then.
Yeah, and I think so in my head I have it like we'll aim for a monthly episode, and then you never know, like maybe we get more than one in a month if things are, I mean, I think you'll find too that you'll have some more time on your hands just with the schedule. I mean, you're gonna be busy and there's gonna be travel, but you're also like away from your family and friends and stuff too. There, like there's that stuff won't
Yeah.
be keeping you as busy. But so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're not done. We'll make it clear we're not done or shutting this thing down. We're gonna keep it going. Just obviously, you guys can understand. Big year for both of us, but mostly for you right now. So yeah, we appreciate that support. Also, just shout out to like the listeners and us for making it to 100.
Yeah, no, exactly. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, congrats to you. This is pretty cool.
That's actually insane too, if you think about it. So I haven't checked how many like listeners we've had either, because I remember like way back when we had like 5 million at one point. So it's like I could only imagine
We
what
were
we're at.
over 9 when I last checked.
So we're definitely over 10 by now, probably.
Yeah, well, it was like midsummer when I checked, so maybe not.
Okay.
But we're
So,
gonna be we're pushing 10 for right now.
yeah, no, that's crazy.
I was just watching the Millions Billions clip. That
Just
one.
idiot, dude. So we're coming up on what, 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years, and that's 100 episodes. So basically, we had 2 years filled of that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, October was our first, or November it was, maybe. Either way, that's insane to think how quickly time's gone.
I know, man. And what's funny is like we were talking about it before the pod, but the opportunities that we've had that have come from this is crazy.
Yeah, it's been something pretty cool for sure. And then,
and I've been like I said, I've probably benefited more than you.
Yeah, well, even me though, it's like I feel like, yeah, I always get questions about it. Like I could be doing like a post game interview about the game and how I played and why I'm excited the team won, and they go, "Oh, and what about the podcast?" Like it's always a reoccurring question. Like I feel like I get it no matter what interview I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And every like the rare times that I end up meeting a fan, which I guess isn't that rare because I find like I've obviously like I basically live in the rinks, and many of the people I'm bumping into in these rinks know you and know me and know the podcast. So they're always like they come right to me, and everyone's just like, "How's Cardsy doing?"
Yeah, bro. But honestly, I've had so many people, like I've met so many different people from just like doing this podcast and stuff like that. No, it's been wild. It's definitely been cool. I think we're kind of blabbing on now about ourselves too much.
Yeah, it's just cool. So shout
Well,
out everyone. I have a couple things, couple 100th episode questions for you. Okay. Do you have a favorite memory from the podcast so far?
You didn't want to send me this stuff before, eh?
No.
Just absolutely sewering me now in the
well, I can go first. I mean, I didn't even think of my own one. I guess favorite memory of the pod. There's oh man. I don't know if I have a favorite memory, to be honest, but they've all been awesome, but there's not one. I don't know why I even put this in there and I didn't have an answer, but they're like
yeah. Honestly, man, I feel like it's just like going on and like just casually chatting with the boys, or just like being able to catch up with like old teammates of mine or like friends I hadn't seen in a while and stuff like that. And then obviously shooting the shit with you once a week when we're in the flow of things as well. Like it's just fun to kind of come on chat. Like people don't know this too. Like typically we like we'll talk a little bit about like some personal stuff or stuff like that before, and like we end up talking on these things for like 20 minutes sometimes before we even get it going, or 30 minutes, and we're like, oh my god, maybe we should start this episode.
Yeah, it's always good. I guess my favorite memory just came, well, I don't know if it's my favorite memory, but a good memory just came to me. I talked about this one like I guess 2 years ago now when it happened. We had a Brock practice. It was like on a Friday or something, and there was a minor hockey tournament, and I walked out, and there was a dad and his kid outside my car with the Showbound license, like, and then the kid said like, are you, or the dad goes, are you Ethan Cardwell? I'm like, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, I love your podcast. My kid loves your podcast. I was like, I pretended to be you.
That's absurd, man. Obviously, he's obviously an audio listener.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite ones.
Dude, that's hilarious.
And then okay, another one to put you on the spot. Do you have I have an answer first if you know, but do you have a favorite story or stories that have been mentioned on the pod? I have my answers if you want me to go first.
There's so many, but I think one that sticks out to me was who was it? It was Dan Baalsma who did the saran wrap around his face when he came in for
all those Baalsma stories in that same clip of like breaking the kid's wrist or whatever. Then
Yeah,
the
that was
starting
crazy.
lineup and like
Yeah,
all the
I
things.
thought that was pretty wild.
No, that was funny. And
What's
from
your
that same uh interview with Dolphs, the when he said "I love you" on stage to Sarah McLachlan,
yeah, no, that
and
was
then
lit.
Torts is like, "What is Dolphs doing? I love you." Like that's maybe my
Yeah, I
favorite
just
one.
chirping him.
But then
No,
also the okay, the Tate McRae, the whole Tate McRae thing, that's one of my favorites as well. That happened with
okay.
Sillinger. I'm going to see Tate McRae live in Toronto Monday, September 11th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's absurd. Oh, actually, I got one that comes to mind. A story was when we had Ivan on,
Yes,
Brooks,
I
and
was about to say that.
like the one about him taking the moped to the rink is out of hand
Oh,
good.
that's the
Like
that's all time, man.
like you can't even make that stuff up. So like for the people listening right now, if you want to go check out these stories, Zac Dalpe, not sure the episode number, and then Ivan Prosvetov an earlier on
I think it was
episode.
9 with Ivan, maybe,
Yeah,
or
it
in
was
the first 10.
yeah, it was definitely early, and that guy had some crazy stories. So
Those are both
honestly, man, there's
hilarious.
so many. Like we could be here all day if we just wanted to
And then
read.
yeah, just last one, Perfetti's second interview with us, that whole one, episode 21, it was that was like some of those stories were all my favorites. Like I can't remember them all off the top of my head. He was like slipping on this and falling on that, and then
Oh
playing against
yeah,
the Marlies and getting yelled at by Rich Clune or whatever. Like all those stories he said were those are great.
yeah. No, those were all real good. No, it's been unreal, man.
And then last 100th episode question: who is your dream guest right now at this point?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I kind of want to get Kyle Dubas as my dream. He's not even a player.
Really?
I'd love to talk with him, but no, maybe he's on my dream guest. He's up there on the list, but I think Bobby Orr right now.
Yeah. No, that would be sick.
I want to say Matthews, but even if we get him, like he would just be dry. I feel like because he doesn't like doing this stuff. So
Uh, I'm trying to think here. Like I want like it's easy to say like Wayne Gretzky, but I want to think of someone who's just like who would be just like a crazy. And I guess Wayne Gretzky would be a wild interview. Like that guy's seen it all. Obviously, one of the
yeah.
best of time. But honestly, maybe Ovechkin. I'd love to hear about.
Oh yeah, he
I,
would
I
probably let
would
it fly too.
I would love to hear what went on after he won the cup.
Oh yeah, that would be a great one.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Um. All right. Before we send it to the interview, let's do quick 2023 NHL season predictions. So we got. I'm gonna ask most goals, most points by a D, Stanley Cup Finals, and the winner, and then the Bedard points prediction. So first, who's getting the most goals?
Uh, Probably McDavid.
You could. I think. I think Draisaitl this year.
Okay. Okay.
Most points, McDavid.
Yeah,
Most points by a D.
Carlson.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Makar.
Okay.
But yeah, Carlson is the easy answer for sure. He's nasty. And then who's the Stanley Cup Finals and the winner? It's the Leafs are making it.
Leaf Sharks. The Sharks take it.
I'm going that would kill me, man. Like I wouldn't know who to cheer for. Like oh, like actually that might be my worst nightmare. I'm going well, I think if Colorado's healthy, I'm going Leafs Colorado and the Leafs take it.
As a true fan would say.
Yeah. And then how many points do you think Bedard is gonna get? I'll go first and let me explain why. I think Bedard is gonna get 80 points. And
Wow.
yeah, I say that with some research. He he's everyone's comparing him to McDavid because they've put up similar numbers their whole junior careers. That's proven. McDavid came into the NHL as a rookie and went over a point per game in his first year. He was like 80 something points in 80 games.
No, he didn't play that many games in
Or
his
it was,
rookie year.
or he was over a point per game in his first year. It was maybe whatever it was, he was over a point per game.
Okay.
Bedard has more points in junior than McDavid had in those junior years. So I think, and Bedard, he's getting in first line, first power play. He'll get every opportunity. You don't think so?
Oh no, I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were shaking your head.
no.
But so that's my argument for it. Basically, is
Um,
he'll get the opportunity, and he's like, if he's on the McDavid path, he's coming in with more points than McDavid did have in junior. So I think, yeah, 80 points.
I think he's actually unbelievable, dude. From what I've seen, like I got to skate with him a few times this summer, and just like skating after him, I'm walking out of the rink, kind of just watching him snap the puck around a little bit on my way out. And no, man, he's definitely a one of a kind talent. The way he shoots that puck, and yeah, he's really dedicated. I
And he
mean,
seems
like
like a beauty too.
yeah, he's a nice guy. Like I haven't talked to him too much in depth, but just like, hey, how are you? And seems like a great guy. And yeah, he's super dedicated to hockey. So he's
Yeah.
gonna definitely gonna do big things. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many points, but he'll definitely have a nice career ahead of him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Anyway, just quickly before we send to the interview, I just want to shout out Athlete Farm Niagara. Uh, Nate Mitten there was big in setting up this interview too, and he's the owner of Athlete Farm Niagara, former ECHL beauty as well. So yeah, go to athletefarmniagara.com if you're from the Niagara region. You want to train like a pro. Maybe you'll run into me there. Maybe not. Probably not. But anyway, with that said, let's send it over to Brandon Montour. All right, we are pleased to be joined by Brandon Montour. Monty, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. So your summer is kind of all dad mode, I guess now, right?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the whole hockey world kind of knows, my story and, becoming a dad. And, yeah, so, it's quiet down now. 'Cause he's a few months old and, doing that. And then, obviously the rehab on, my injury.
Mm. And we're gonna get to the story, you flying back and forth and stuff as we touch on the finals later on.
Okay.
But the rumor is that Mitzi came down to teach you how to change a diaper and stuff. Is that true?
Well, because he's Mr. Perfect Dad, I guess. Yeah. No, yeah, he was actually down. He caught a game, so he caught him within a couple of days of being born. So yeah, he was one of the first friends to actually, see him.
And for those who don't know, Mitzi is Nate Mitten, my assistant coach here at Brock and friend of Monty. So yeah, he's an absolute beauty all around too. But what was the injury and like how's the recovery going?
Yeah, so I tore my labrum and dislocated rotator cuff. So they had to clean it up a little bit. The recovery time supposedly is around 8 or 6 months, I believe. So we're just past the 2 month mark, I think, and just I mean it's a hassle. Just the fact that it's time. Like it's just all about the rest. Haven't really necessarily got into big weightlifting. Haven't been on the ice yet. It's just about healing for the first couple of months, and then hopefully sometime in September I could start amping it up a little bit more. And but feels good, feels great. I think I'm ahead of schedule from how I feel and how my trainers, see me, each day. And yeah, I mean things are going good in that sense.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you were playing through that and some of the injuries that guys had. Like it must have been like
Yeah.
the few off days, I guess, in between games, the trainers table must have been just lining up, eh?
Yeah, guys were definitely taking options in practice, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the abuse that, obviously a playoff or a season takes on, each player. And I think we ended up playing over 100 games total. So you could imagine, how much that affected the guys' bodies. And towards the playoffs, it definitely hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about such a long year, over 100 games and stuff like that. And typically on these interviews, we like to get into like the whole career and stuff. But I mean, I think we can fill a whole interview with your guys' playoff run and what a one that thing as is just watching from home and stuff like that. So I guess we'll start in round one. You're down 3-1 in a series against the best regular season team in NHL history, and like I said, you're down 3-1. What's the mindset going into Game 5 there?
I think we kept the same mindset the whole time. Obviously, we knew what type of team they were. Games were fairly close. I mean, I think we had chances in each of those games that we were losing too. So 3-1. Obviously, we knew we were in a hole, but I think we just kind of kept this, playing the same way. We got a few bounces our way, and then I think once you get it, we win that game 5 in Boston. Bring it home, win game 6, and then game 7, anything can happen. And they were up obviously late in the game. We tied it up, and then again, in game 7, anything can happen, and then overtime, anything can happen. And luckily enough, we got a few pretty good shooters on our team, and we finished that one off.
Yeah, I mean, you say we tied it up, but I mean, you did the deed there. So getting that goal, like what going through your head when you tie it up, especially like you were on fire that series, score 5 goals in that series total, and 2 in games. That obviously that one. So what kind of goes through your head when you talk that one?
We kind of laughed at it just because the fact that I had a shot right before that play that actually almost went in. It almost snuck by. And then it went around, and then Barkov was up top. He tried to shoot it on net, and we were laughing because it hit a guy's shin pad, and then it could have ricocheted. It could have bounced any which way, and it happened just to pop right in front of my forehand, and obviously got some pretty good release on the puck and snuck in, I think, short side below his blocker. But just the fact that it happened all in a perfect situation. It could have, like I said, bounced in the corner. It could have bounced my backhand, and just like I said, happened so quick. The puck bounced, and I honestly just wanted to get a quick shot in an open area, and then hopefully the boys can find some traffic, and then saw it go in. And crazy how quiet the building was, and just kind of silenced the whole situation there. And obviously we were all jacked up.
You must have ruined so many people's nights in Boston too, at like the bars and stuff. Not even at the rink, like everybody's watching, and you just crushed them.
Dude.
Well, I mean, just the whole fact. I mean, obviously we're not paying attention to the outside noise, but how many people obviously were picking us to win that whole series, and how we came back from 3-1, and like I said, just the whole scenario to even be down with a minute left, and be able to tie it up, and then anything can happen in overtime. And just obviously their building is a loud building. If you guys have been in there, and I think they were expected to beat us, and how we turned it around, and just how crazy and how quiet that arena was that night. It's something that obviously the guys will never forget that moment.
Yeah, that's just like a storybook like tale there. Like you can't even make that up what happened. And but going into that overtime, like game 7, all the nerves in the world, you guys kind of got nothing to lose at this point. You've made it all the way back to this point, and you're sitting there at intermission. Are the boys talking, or what's going on in the locker room there?
Yeah, honestly, I think we were just more jacked up that we tied it. Realistic. I mean, we had such a good group that nobody was stressing in all the overtimes we were a part of. We enjoyed just kind of laughing about where we're at. Having fun, just keeping the room light. Some guys obviously it's tough in overtime. You want to grip your stick too tight, especially in game 7s or important games. And I thought we were pretty loose. And if you watch most of the overtime, I think for the most part we took control of that overtime and had a bunch of chances, and knew it was just kind of a bounce here and there, and it was going to come in our way. And I mean, guys were obviously jacked up that we tied it late, fired up, and then obviously brought that into overtime, and the rest is history.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. It's unbelievable, honestly, that you guys did that. But so we have this super fan. He's a big fan of yours, and I sent him this. He wants to come in and ask you a question. You might have heard of him. Here he's coming in.
Oh, he's coming in on the on chat.
Here he is.
Yo.
No way.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Are you hiding in the closet?
Upstairs. We're heading to actually I probably should a little surprise later on for some friends. So we got to get out of here fairly early, but like I said, Nate's friend here, any friend of Nate's is a friend of mine, and we're on for a couple minutes here.
Yeah, for the listeners, hold on for a sec, just because the people who aren't watching, we got Zac Dalpe join the call here, a former guest to the show as well. But
I love it.
Dalpe, right before you came in, I was like, we have a super fan. You might have heard of him, and he wants to ask you a question.
Hey, yeah. I'm trying to think of who he was gonna have on too. I'm like, what?
Sorry, are you disappointed or are you happy?
No, we're just talking about the Boston series, and I was just about to bring up how big of a goal you scored in that series. I think you should tell the listeners about that.
No, it's not about me. It's about you. I just want to.
Oh, get out here! You hopped on. You got to share now.
No. I just wanted to let the listeners in on a little insight that I got from Ben Dalpe. Are you cool with that? So you were cut from minor midget, right?
Midget or minor midget? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that's what I played in Cambridge. Minor midget.
Right. So I was cut from around the same year. I was cut from junior C. So what I wanted to ask you in a serious manner, just because I'm not going to hop there and fuck around. But as you progress throughout your career, how much do you hold on to that, I guess, that motivation that you were cut as fire to fuel you? Or have you just let that go completely and you just go out and play and trust your game?
I mean, I think you've experienced obviously that too, but I think the big thing was maybe when I was that age and experienced that was kind of when the fire was, I need to prove that I could play. And I actually played in Cambridge, and that was just down the street. So anytime we could play Brantford, or anytime I was on the ice, I just wanted to prove not just to myself, but obviously the team that let me go, or everyone that I could play. And now you just laugh about it, and you share experiences with other players, and how they come up, and everyone's stories are so different, and I think that's just a part of you growing, and that was a part of me growing and becoming the player I am today. And without that, who knows what could have happened.
All right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then just one more thing. Cost of living in Canada is a little high, and I was just on my bank account and it's a little low. So can I get the login to yours or no?
Oh man.
What's up, Cardsy? How are you, kid?
Hey, Delps, good. You?
Good, man. I'm good. I just wanted to hop on. I don't want to take up most of your time. I just want to say hi and see what Monty Kid was doing. Say hi to you guys.
Appreciate that, Delps. We'll get you on here soon. We'll get one going before the kicks off.
All right, sounds good. Okay, you guys enjoy.
See you, Dolphs.
Yeah.
See ya.
Anyway, we'll keep it moving. That was funny. That was Monty. I texted you that I had a surprise or whatever. That's what the surprise was. But I want to move forward. We kind of want to go through the playoffs with you, and then take some fan questions at the end. But in the round 2 against Toronto, so I'm from Toronto, like huge Leafs fan. I think most of our podcast listeners, I mean, it's gone down because we've made it more into the States with Cardsy going to San Jose, but we have a lot of like Ontario listeners, Leafs fans and stuff. And obviously everyone was rooting against you guys. They're like cheering for the Leafs, all the Leafs fans. So you guys had one day off between that Boston series and game 1 against Toronto. So I'm just curious, like, did you guys get to celebrate that first round win at all? Or was it just like right into the second round?
I mean, you say it so, you say it like it was so fast, but obviously, that night, we went back to the hotel, enjoyed our night, but I think just we were so jacked up, and in a playoff series, obviously we experienced so much, but the confidence and the just the way the mentally ups and downs, we were so high in that series that we just wanted to keep continuing that into the next series. And then obviously a big thing was the media and being close to home, and all the Leafs fans around the world. And it's funny, even now after everything's done, how many Leafs fans are fans of myself and my team, but obviously they're rooting for the Leafs, came up to me. We had our golf tournament, like we were saying, I was at that Ontario golf the other day, and the amount of people that were saying that they're Leafs fans, and they used to hate the Panthers, but now that they watched us, they appreciate it. So just the whole media, the fan base of the Leafs, that was tough. And then obviously people would say that obviously that was probably the second best team in the league besides Boston, right? So we were going from 1 to 2. So we were pretty jacked up about playing them, challenges that they'd obviously face. We were also jacked up that I think we had 7, 8 players from the Toronto area that, grew up, either Leafs fans or rooting for the Leafs. And so I think that was obviously another bonus, or, a plus to our side, just to, have that family and friends atmosphere for us, going to games either in Florida and Toronto. Like I had friends and family going to every game that series, just flip-flopping, but obviously, a really good team. We had a battle. Every game was tight, and we were pretty jacked up about that one as well.
Mm-hmm. What'd you make of when it came out that your arena in Florida wasn't allowing Canadians and stuff? Like, were you guys laughing at that, or like, was it even a thought? Like, what was your take?
I mean, guys have brought it up. I mean, it wasn't like realistic. Like we knew, Toronto fans were going to get in there. I think it just gave either Panther fans that extra day or two to, which is honestly smart on our side. But regardless of who it was or what they did, from game one against Boston right to, the end against Vegas, you guys experienced or watched the games on TV, our arena was second to none, like a crazy atmosphere every single time. And we enjoyed, each time we stepped on the ice at home.
Yeah. And just one more from that Leaf series, just being an Ontario guy yourself, like what was it like for you playing against the Leafs in that second round with so many eyes, like the whole hockey world watching?
Yeah.
Personally, just how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I was never a Leafs fan. I grew up watching the Red Wings, actually. So I mean, in that case, but I think just the fact that I had family and friends that are huge Leafs fans, and kind of battling against them as well. Obviously, I didn't hear from them, but wanted to experience beating them and seeing their reaction after the series was pretty cool. But I think just for the team, like I said, we had 8 players or so. I forget the number, but within the area, so everybody wanted to beat them, and how much, again, the fan base was on their side. Nobody thought we were going to get through Boston. Nobody thought we were going to get through Toronto, and the way we did it. I'm pretty proud of our group and how we mentally went from series 1 to series 2 and kept moving there.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I got one more question on that too. Did you boys get out a chuckle about Gudis like losing it in the goalie's face after the
Yeah, so in our locker room, actually, obviously nobody experienced or nobody saw. Everyone just kind of jacked up and kind of celebrated. And then once we went back to the locker room, they had there was a big TV in the locker room, and they were showing the replays and shit like that. And then that's when everyone saw it, and everyone just started dying laughing. And he's such a, Goods as a player is completely different from him off the ice, and how big of a warrior he is, on the ice. And you guys obviously, seen the big hits, seen, how jacked up he was in that play. And then to see it afterwards, and, we were literally almost in tears, laughing how, how funny that was.
And the replay, I think I remember, was it not like one of those super slow-mos where his mouth is like opening and he's just like,
yeah. And like, to him, like, he wasn't doing it as an asshole or anything like that. He was just jacked. He was just jacked up. It was the heat of the moment. He's probably thinking in his head, like, this is going to be hilarious seeing this afterwards, and yeah, that was a great moment for, our club. And guys obviously were, I think, more jacked up at seeing his reaction than either, winning the game or, even winning that Game 7 series.
Yeah, that was when I was watching that. And then like I remembered in one game, like I think he murdered Kampf like right after the whistle.
Oh yeah.
And I literally was sitting in my room just replaying that a couple times, just crying, laughing. I'm like, I do not want to play against this guy. Like, guy is a killer. But
well, I mean, you said you're in San Jose. He's pretty close, so you better keep your head up.
Well, check the game notes for sure.
Get on his good side cards. We got to get him on, and he'll be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we're gonna miss. Obviously, we're gonna miss him as a person, but like even just his presence on the ice, and like you'll experience. You got to watch when he's on the ice, because like you said, like that Kampf hit was, I mean, surprised he got up, but that was one of the biggest hits I've seen since I've played. And it's funny because Goods isn't even. He's a big boy, but he's maybe a little bit smaller than me. Like he might be 5'10", 5'11", but obviously solid, and he can hit better than anyone I know.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch all playoffs, but
Yeah.
Even you guys, like, fans watch stuff, think like it's the craziest run ever, and then like things get even like almost more crazy in the Carolina series. And but to kind of kick things off, when you guys are going to Carolina, wasn't there like a big parade and fans with signs and everything in Florida, like ready like to greet you guys when you were taking off for Carolina for Game 1?
Yeah, there actually was fans every time when we were landing at home, and then when we were taking off. It's obviously with any sports team that's making it a push and doing well, the fans jump up. But especially you got to appreciate Florida. Nobody expects it to be a huge fan base, but people that experience being at the games, like I was saying, or just experience being in Fort Lauderdale or being around us during this run, really, you really see that it's a pretty damn good hockey market. And, having us and the Heat, both, making runs in basketball and hockey, the whole area was crazy. And to see fans at, like I said, when we landed and when we took off, like there was, I couldn't even count how many, a couple hundred, maybe, a few, but a lot of people just jacked up, every time they could see us or cheer us on. And obviously that, helps us, the whole way.
Yeah. And game one, obviously craziest game I've ever seen, quadruple overtime. We logged 58 minutes of ice time. So just tell us about that game. Like, what's going through your mind? Like, I want to know, like, second or third overtime intermission. Like, what are you doing? Crushing mustard, honey stingers? Like, what do you do? Like, how are you staying energized?
Yeah, I'm definitely staying away from the mustard. Some guys are. Some guys actually were eating pizza, whatever they can get their hands on, honestly, at that point. But even before the series, we knew it was, we just laughed about it because we played Boston, number one team, played Toronto, number two team, and then we were playing Carolina, who was, either number two or three, with Toronto. So there was another tough one. Carolina's a tough building, low scoring games all the time. They're a very defensive team that keeps it tight. So we knew that we were in a challenge there, but yeah, I mean, we just didn't again think about it. We were, going to overtime, just enjoying the moment, enjoying, creating chances. I don't know how many chances I had in that game or even those overtimes. So, I mean, I was pretty frustrated myself that I couldn't have finished it, 2 hours beforehand. But yeah, guys were literally crushing whatever they could. I don't know how many. I probably had 4 or 5 bananas, during the total time. I was actually starting to get a cramp probably 2-3 shifts before we scored. I was kind of afraid that we were going to keep going. And it was going to, drag on. So, but I felt pretty good. I actually felt really good throughout the whole time, which is kind of surprising. But once obviously we finished that, I forget what time we went. We ate at like probably 2:30 a.m. at the hotel. Like I think that's when we got in, and then like just a whirlwind. Like I said, like the whole playoffs, the emotions, the highs and lows. That was a high, but also was a low.
And you know what? Like, sorry to jump in, Cards, but losing a game like that has to be so gut wrenching. Like, you battled for like 9 periods or whatever it was, like 7-8 periods, and to lose like that. So that's a really, like, it's game one, but it's bigger than that because you feel like you took so much out of them there.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was one of our mindsets is like, yeah, it's good to get one or game one, but like this was huge going into the next one, like especially, I mean, I don't know, like we just felt like obviously we're a younger team, our legs were fresh, and that just, jacked us up for game two,
Well, it ended up working. You guys sweep and so that was probably the most smooth sailing part of the playoffs so far. But when you guys win there, you end up touching the Prince of Wales trophy. Was there thought or discussion before game 4? Like, did you guys plan that? Kind of spur of the moment?
No, I think just the heat of the moment. Guys kind of talked about it briefly beforehand, before we grabbed it, but we kind of left it on Barkey to see what he wanted to do. If he didn't want to touch it, then we wouldn't have. And I think just the mindset and the guys' reaction to everything and the excitement of being in our building. I think we kind of just said we deserve to grab it, no matter what were to happen, moving forward. I think we deserve that trophy, and we worked so hard to enjoy that with our fans. And guys didn't think too hard of. I don't think guys really think about the curse or good luck or bad luck or whatnot. It's just the way it works out. And like I said, we wanted to enjoy that in front of our fans, and that whole arena's 22,000 plus all of us were pretty jacked up that night.
Yeah, I mean, how many chances are you going to get to win like something like that?
Yeah, and we've had some veteran guys that obviously helped us, and in our heads too. We're the same way as everyone else, saying, do we touch it, do we not touch it? And I think that as a veteran player and a player that has experience, playing and trying to win and being close to win, it's those guys were kind of like the same thing. Like we deserved it, enjoy it, grab it, cherish this night, and then we move, get back to work.
Yeah,
Sure.
I like that mindset. at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter. Like I mean, I'd say it doesn't matter. Like it's not going to
Yeah.
affect if you win or lose. But it's funny that it's such a big
Yeah. Oh
story,
yeah. Like,
especially when Vegas decided not to touch theirs, so it becomes like
and that's the way it works, And then next year, something, the team that touches it wins. Like it's.
yeah. I mean, it's not going to affect. We got
I've won.
Mitzi on
I've
the
won.
call now. Mitzi, what's up? You gonna say hi?
Okay.
Boys,
I said 4
doing?
o'clock. I said 4 o'clock, and he's 10 minutes late to that. So.
How are you doing, guys? Sorry about that.
We're good. You got some tough Wi-Fi over there, Nate.
Let me see if I can. Is
Guys,
that better or worse?
Yeah, that's good. You got no jibs, one eye. What's going on, Nate?
Guy's a battler, eh? Like, geez. I was saying to some kids earlier, I was doing a goalie camp this morning, and I did this big speech about loving the game of hockey. And I said, "Look at me, boys. Look at me. You don't know what I've given up for this game." And I said, "And I do it all over again."
A helmet out there.
Huh?
You wearing a helmet in a cage out there now?
I got the fishbowl dialed up, man.
I was gonna say, hopefully Deez isn't hearing this today.
Oh man. Nate, we're just about I want to touch on the cup finals here, and then we can kind of sort of wrap it up. But good for you to join, Nate. We were talking about you at the beginning, teaching Monty how to change diapers and be a dad. So I'm sure that's appreciated.
Hey, I've been showing this guy the ropes since junior. Since we were in a boxing ring, I've been putting him through the ropes, teaching him the ropes.
The first time me and Nate met, we were in a boxing ring and I pounded his ass. You know us too.
It was on your home turf, man. I didn't stand a chance.
My home turf. Yeah, I couldn't let this skinny, tall, lanky kid come in and take over. So I had to show him the ropes, and I had to show him the ropes. For the next couple of years playing with each other.
Attaboy, Nate. Attaboy. So so Monty, just on Vegas in the final, quick, just there was so much time off between the third and fourth round with the sweep and the other series going, and I'm just curious because you never know which way it goes. Did you think the time? I mean, looking back on it now, but in the moment, did you guys think the time was going to be great, or did you want to just get going right at it, or like, do you think it hurt you?
I mean, everyone's kind of asked that, and I hate to say the excuses. And the time was great. The fact that guys can heal up and rest. Way too much time. Like we played that game 4, we won, and then the next day they played game 5, day off, game 6. I think they won in 6, right? They won in 6 against Dallas, and then there was a handful. I think it was total 11 days in between. But just like I said, the emotions of how well we were playing and what kind of groove we were in this whole run, and then the rest was good, but then it kind of died down for a week and a half, and we were just kind of waiting, and then the emotions skyrocketed because most of the team has never been in the Stanley Cup Finals and what that was all about. And I think those first 2 games in Vegas, our mindset was kind of, let's get out there and just murder everyone. Like we were just so jacked up that anytime we could hit somebody or kill somebody into the boards, that's what we were trying to do, and we kind of got out of our game. And just like I said, the groove of missing that much time, and then I don't know how many days they had off, but
I think they had 4 or 5. You guys were 2 weeks, it felt like. Yeah,
and I think from what I've heard, that might have been the longest stretch of time off between series.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So I mean, I think that definitely hurt us, and how well we were playing, and then nothing against that team. That team was great. They obviously deserved it and were really good, but I felt like having a little bit more time, less time off would have helped us for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. And just we touched on it at the beginning. I kind of want to hear your point of view on it. When you had your child's birth, flying back and forth between games 1 and 2. Can you just give us the rundown on the timelines and how it all went down, when and where you were basically?
Yeah, so it was very obviously emotional with just everything going on. We set a induced date in between game 5 and game 4, no, game 5 and 6. Yeah. So we were going to play game 5 in Vegas, and then she was going to get induced the next day in Florida. So that was the plan. We had a checkup actually during the break that we had, and he could have came then. So like the emotions were like, was he going to come before the game one? You know, did I have to fly to Vegas, not knowing? And we were just kind of hoping that he would have came before everything kind of started. But again, that wasn't the case. We flew to Vegas. She went in the hospital 5 o'clock Vegas time, which we played right before. Yeah, 5 o'clock we played. She went in the hospital, told my team not to tell me, so obviously I could focus on the game. We lost. It was about 8:30 Vegas time. I got pulled aside, obviously, from the GM and my coach, and said Ryan's in the hospital. And then I flew back again Vegas time at, I think it was 11 o'clock p.m. Was back in Boca Raton by 6:30 a.m. Florida time. And then he actually came. I actually made it, which was unbelievable because I didn't know at the time, you know, what was going on. And it was a 5.5 hour flight and I had no idea, you know, I couldn't talk to anyone. So he came at noon and then I, you know, hung out with them and I was back on a flight by 6 p.m. in Boca and was back in Vegas by 11 p.m. Vegas time. And then we played the next night. So like it was yeah, obviously no sleep on either flight. It didn't help that it was, you know, a 5-6 hour flight away, the 3 hour time zone. Like I said, the emotions from that and then the emotions of playing, losing, not sleeping, getting ready for game two. And then I think we got pounded in game two, which, you know, is another story, but you know, it is cool. The whole experience, obviously, you know, getting back and being able to share, you know, that moment with them and then being able to play and not miss a thing was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a wild story, man. And yeah, running off pure adrenaline, I can imagine at that point. But before we wrap things up, we got a few Florida Panther specific questions and then a few fan questions, and then we're good to go here. But first one here, do you have any good Paul Maurice stories? I heard he's a bit of a lunatic, or anytime Dalpe says he calls everyone baby. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, maybe when he's jacked up or like trying to fire someone up, maybe, yeah. Lunatic, I think people think he's a lunatic from that Toronto clip. I think that's got a lot of hype, but no, I mean he's hard on us when he needs to be. Obviously, he's experienced, you know, a lot more than anyone else or a lot more than most coaches, and when he's hard and the guys listen, but he's very loose, outgoing, cracks a lot of jokes, kind of mixed everything. So he's a great coach to have.
Yeah, no, heard a lot of great things. And next one here, best and worst chirper on the team.
Ooh, best chirper. There's probably a handful of guys. Best chirper, maybe like Chucky's probably pretty good. Matty Tkachuk, Ryan Lomberg. There's a handful of us that like to talk out there. Worst, I'd say, hopefully he listens to this, but Nick Cousins might be the worst chirper. Who is probably the worst, probably one of the best pests in the game today. So, you know, that's probably, you know, a handful of guys there.
Who's team DJ?
That's myself.
Oh, nice. What kind of beats you got, boys? Does it change with the?
Yeah, no, it mixes. Mornings are mixed, and it also changes too. Like a lot of rap, obviously, techno, but changes between guys too. Like we got a lot of Europeans, old guys like Eric Stahl when he came into the league said that they're playing like they're getting jacked up to Bruce Springsteen. You know, like 15, 20 years ago. You know, like it just changes. So I mixed it literally from, you know, old music to music, you know, today, and we got a pretty good mix. I think we mixed it up, and there was probably, I think, total. I'd add a couple songs a week or a couple songs before games, and I think we had it over 400 songs by the end of it.
People don't realize full-time job being the DJ. You got to be on the ball, knowing the new songs and stuff like that.
I enjoy doing that, so it's pretty easy. But yeah, it's especially when you get guys that, you know, enjoy music as well, and they're always on the iPad fucking around or, you know, doing something, putting their own playlist on or like little things like that. But it's all good.
And then we'll go 2 fan questions. And why do you wear 62?
I wore 62 actually when I played with Nate. When I was 15, 16 years old, I was actually handed 62, and throughout my career, I guess, I had a chance to play with 62 all the way up till I was drafted by Anaheim, and then I was 26. And then once I went back to when I got traded to Buffalo, Darlene wore 26, so I changed back to 62, and I've been at 62 since.
Hmm.
Not necessarily no really story behind it other than since I've been 15 years old.
Okay, fair enough. Last one here. Who was a player from the run, like the playoff run, that you hated playing against, or just was getting a bit annoying after a few games?
Well, that's tough. I don't know. So many different players,
Kind of put you on the spot.
Yeah, because there's 4 different teams. I'm trying to pick one specific player,
Yeah.
Maybe that guy, maybe Hathaway, just guys that were kind of like either out there to piss me off or get in my skin, like I think that's, obviously 4 different teams, 4 different types of players, or, but just guys that are out there to do one single job or a specific job like that. But again, I mean, I don't think any of that phases me in any sense of me being, annoyed, like it's just, it is what it is. I'm doing the same thing to them. So it's like, I deserve to get it back. And that's my mindset.
Yeah. And I mean, you're putting up numbers as a D-man too. Those guys aren't missing an opportunity, probably finish checks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Monty, just really want to thank you for taking the time. Like, awesome interview and really cool hearing these insights. And really nice of you to give us your time here. So best of luck with the recovery. And we're all pumped to see you next season and see where your career goes from here.
All right, boys. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank Brandon Montour for that. Pretty cool to hear about the playoffs, like especially kind of going round by round, hearing those stories and hearing about, the birth of his son flying back. Imagine all that happening in the Stanley Cup final, by the way. You got all that going on. Like, it's crazy actually that happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, you got enough on your plate as is, and then boom, that kind of life slaps you in the face like that. But what a surreal thing that must be. And he was obviously saying that was pretty cool. So yeah, to have all that happen at one time it's incredible, really. And no, that's definitely an experience for him. I can't believe how he battled through the games and looked still so good out there, and played as well as he did. But pure adrenaline, and pretty cool to hear about the playoffs. And I know he texted you and talked about potentially a part 2 where we kind of more touch on his career, because we didn't really get into it too much because there was so much to tap into on the playoff run, and kind of getting the scoop on all that.
Yeah, he said something like, would love to do it again. Just let me know. Like, I was gonna pull it up, but he was so nice, like to deal with and all that. So shout out Montour, unbelievable player. He actually could be in the conversation for most points by a D this year. Oh no, but he's injured for a bit. We talked about with him, but otherwise he might get my vote, like we talked about in the beginning half of the episode.
Dude, he's got a lot of.
But crazy. I guess this we're getting near the end here. So what, you got a weather report for San Jose? We haven't done like a weather report in general.
Yeah, bro. I was looking the other day, just because getting excited to kind of move down there and get it all settled in for the next few weeks. And I was looking, it was like 28 to 30 Celsius and sunny every day. So can't complain with that. Hopefully no rain. I know there was a bit of a hurricane out there, so I think that's kind of dissipating and scattering a little bit. So that's good news. And hopefully it's sunshine ahead, and I'll get a report when I'm down there and we get the next episode out, which shouldn't be too long. And no, man, I'm just looking forward to that. And I know you got the Felks preseason coming up here, and Brock starting up soon too. So
yeah, back at it with 2 teams. Both teams looking sick too, by the way, pushing for a double championship like I kind of have been every year.
That'd be elite.
This is the best on paper, the best Brock team that I've been a part of in my now heading into my 7th year.
That's insane, bro. That's insane.
Part of the team, and we've been to 2 nationals, obviously, but like I said, on paper, this is our best team. And we got a goalie coming from the Dub who had a .930 save percentage last year in the Dub.
That'll do.
So I think he's gonna be nasty, and good recruits. And we had one of your old teammates, Ryan Stepien. You play with Step?
Oh yeah, I played with Stepper.
He's like, oh, I seen your podcast. Like, I love Cardsy. Like, loved
Yeah.
Sag. Like, awesome guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude. You'll love him there, and
Yeah.
no, man, I'm excited for you guys. So I mean, we'll get more into it when we talk next, and you'll be well into camp by then, and
Yeah.
I'll be getting settled down there. So
We'll hear about your show camp, hanging with the big dogs.
we'll have a bunch to talk about. So let's, I guess with that being said, we can wrap this one up. But I know I just want to say thank you to the fans for all the support to get us to 100 episodes. And that was a good one here. So I'm real happy about it, brother.
All right. See you guys next time.